Hi, and welcome to Danny After Dark. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a notification or a new episode. Tonight is the weekly True Crime and Chill, and we were doing it tonight on a Saturday versus a Friday because I was busy last night getting y'all some really great content, and we will chat about it next week. So stay tuned in a little bit for that. But joining me tonight is the one, the only. We are late because he couldn't decide which candle, Mr. Beckham. How are you?
What's going on, Danny?
Not much. What the heck are you drinking?
Lemonade. Why are you laughing?
Beckham, you are wild on a Saturday night. I just don't know what to say. But before there's a big controversy in the chat, what scented candle did we go with tonight?
Just the standard Harbor Blue or whatever it's called.
All right. Excellent choice. Excellent choice.
Smells good in here.
I'm sure it does. And I'm sure the company that gets your money because the amount of candles you go through would agree. But that's besides the point. So let's go through the chat and see who's here. And then I'll do just some regular housekeeping updates for y'all. And we will get to it. Tony Stewart, hello. James Watson. I know James was getting rowdy because look at this, 8:02. 8:02. Do something. I know. Hey, Shelly. Good to see you. Hope you're doing good, hun. Yeah, look at Tony Stewart. If this doesn't start soon, we're going to riot. I was about to riot with you. Trust me. Hey, Allison. Good to see you. Michelle, welcome. Okay, so you need a wrench. So for those who are unfamiliar with wrenches, not only can you bop out trolls if they come, which we typically don't get a lot here, but more so if you guys have any links to share amongst yourselves, feel free, whether it's a case we're talking about, or sometimes y'all just have your own pretty dang cool conversations on the side, and yeah, feel free to share links. So I've given you a wrench, Michelle. So let's see. Thank you, Shelly. Danny, you are very brave. MLB. Oh, sports. Tony, you don't have, Tony, you can catch this on replay.
We started an hour early because of sports.
Yes, that is why we're starting an hour early, because Beckham, what sport is tonight? UFC?
There's a big UFC fight tonight, and then there's all their sports going on all at once. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like people are getting a big craze right now as people are just building their own bars in their own homes, like small. Just because, you know, TVs are cheap, you can just go get 2 or 3 TVs and then put them up and just go to your local liquor store. You know, I don't know. Oh, it's like a trend right now. People are literally just building their own bars in their houses or on, you know, outside as their extra thing that they have outside in the back.
Well, if I was into sports, that would make sense because, I mean, granted, I'm Boston, so, going out in the city is not cheap. Parking is not cheap.
Yeah, right.
You got to pay to get in, and then drink. Even if you just grab a beer, drinks are very expensive.
Oh yeah, you and another person, you and two people, pretty
that pays
quick.
For itself.
You're like $60, $75 down pretty quick.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So just buy 2 or 3 little, just it pays for itself in a couple of games. So makes sense. But I'm not into sports, so I don't need to worry about that. Let's see, James Watson, pink lemonade. I Oh my God. Okay. I'm not trashing pink lemonade. That actually sounds delicious. It's just more of like Beckham. Yeah.
Hey, but look at what look what it's in. See, it's appropriate for tonight.
Is that Star Wars?
No, it's a skull.
No, I know. It looks like a funky skull.
No, it's just missing the head. At the top. I mean, it's like a helter skelter.
Oh God. Oh God. And for more news on Helter
from,
Skelter, go over to the.
No,
yes.
I'm sorry. I meant the character in what's that name of the movie? Oh my God, serial killer.
That narrows it.
One of
Ed Gein?
The most famous serial killer movie ever made.
Silence of the Lambs.
Hannibal Lecter. I'm sorry, Hannibal Lecter. I meant to say not Helter Skelter. Hannibal.
We would have gotten there 20 minutes from it. It's fine.
Right.
So yes, big difference. Big difference. Let's see. Danny, I'm a diehard, but I'm here. Tony, I appreciate that, but go watch your sports. If that's your thing, please go ahead. Go ahead. I will not be.
We got Diddy news. I don't know if people want to get. I got a lot of Diddy stuff.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We have a lot to talk about. Plus, we argue all night. We do argue all night, Tony. Yes, we do. Danny isn't into sports. She's a Boston Bruins fan. You know, it's one of those, like, if someone's like, a friend's like, hey, I got a ticket. You want to go? I'll go. There's cute players on the team. Patrice Bergeron, are you kidding me? Yeah, he's a hottie. Yeah, I'm there. Am I watching the sport? Not really, but that's okay. Michelle and Hot, Diddy did it. Yeah, I think everybody here is in agreement with that, Michelle, but yes, absolutely. Hey, Kane, good to see you. So, few housekeeping things before I forget. So yes, I was not able to do the True Crime and Chill last night. Me and fellow YouTuber Auntie Deb, depending on where you're from and how you say auntie or auntie, went to the Turtle Boy fundraiser last night. That was in Taunton. It was a Canton trivia night on the Karen Reed trial. And yeah, that was quite an event. It was very fun, very interesting. Got to meet a lot of great people. And I took so many pictures and videos from there. I uploaded a lot of the videos as YouTube shorts. So if you missed those, go and check it out. I also posted one of the pictures. I'll post that on the Danny After Dark Instagram account and TikTok soon. I at least just was very busy today. Just wanted to get that out. But I'll do a episode just focus on that event next week. So instead of covering a case, we'll just chat about that event. I actually think you guys will enjoy it. It will be quite a lot of fun. Tony, I did get your message. Oh my God, I haven't had a chance to reply, but I did get your message. Thank you. That was very nice of you. So we will talk about that, and that will be next week's basis. Another thing that I wanted to kind of either run by y'all or just kind of put it out there, just what I've been noticing.
Run it by me first.
Okay, Beckham, I will run it by you first. You can have the first say. I'll defer to the chat, but if you need time to think, let me know. Just going over like the analytics for my channel and more so a lot of the requests from you. I want to talk about content that not only that I want to talk about, but what you guys want to talk about. And the cases that I review once a week, that's great. I love doing the research. I love when y'all suggest cases that I just never heard of. Because I deep dive into that, and that's super fun. So I love doing that, and we'll continue to do that. But what I've also been noticing is more so you guys seem to really like the book recommendations videos and the book review videos, like by a landslide. So what I figured
Thanks, doo-doo man.
Oh God. Okay. Beckham is interrupting my what is this? Hey, doo-doo man. Danny, you look stunning as usual. Thank you. Beckham always as cool as the
Hell yeah. Stuart Scott right there. Stuart Scott's famous line.
Yeah. I appreciate the compliment. The one for Beckham. He's drinking pink lemonade, Kane. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm just, anywho. So yes, y'all seem to love the true crime book recommendations and reviews. And I go through so many books. Y'all know I'm a wicked book nerd. So what I was wanting to do was more so kind of do those each week. And then a couple times here and there, kind of sprinkle in the case reviews that I do for you guys and the ones that I really want to talk about and cover. But again, I want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. The weekly true crime and chill y'all love and I love with you. So that ain't going nowhere, but it's that extra one each week. So think about it. Let it marinate. Let me know. Beckham, do you have an input one way or another? Or are you just wondering how you can get more screen time on here?
Just wondering how I can get more screen time on here.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't expect you to go buy every single dang book that I want to review. So I don't expect you to be joining for that second episode every week, hon. And yeah. But anyway, let me know what y'all think. Camp Elasticity Productions. Nice dress. Hi. It's actually just a regular top, not a dress, but thank you. I actually really appreciate that. And let's see. Hey, K-Dog. Hello. Let's see. Okay, Camp, you need a wrench as well.
You're going to be busy come January.
I'm just busy every damn day of the week. But, and if you're wondering why Beckham says January, well, one, we got some cats. We got some cats. Who do we have? Tuca and Luke. So, yes, the Karen retrial is expected to resume in January. Beckham, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look at Shelly. We're going to come out there for, well,
I don't know yet because
don't rush and book anything because
I've been getting told that it gets super, super cold.
Do you think that's a lie?
I don't know.
Yeah, I would love to see you in the cold because
I was thinking about it. I was like, man, my
bitch.
wardrobe would have to be completely different. I'd need an Eskimo jacket that I would only wear while I'm there.
We can stop at the mall if you need to pick up anything, but no, I would love you guys to come out. I would love you guys to come out and yeah, let's go to the courthouse and stand outside.
Yeah, but I think it's supposed to go. It could be postponed, right?
It could. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with the trial. That's what I'm saying. Don't rush and book anything. We'll see what happens with the trial because for all we know, it could get posted. I'm just still hoping that the prosecution is like, this is not worth the taxpayers' money, and we're not going to fine 12 jurors to find her guilty. So why? Oh God, I've said it time and time again.
I think, boss. I think it's going to become. Well, who's gonna want more of the attention? State of New York or the state of Massachusetts, because you're gonna have the Karen Reed trial versus the P. Diddy case.
Oh God! I mean, when you compare,
who's
like
gonna
that's
want?
apples
And
oranges.
New Yorkers hate Massachusetts people and vice versa. Y'all hate each other.
I love people from New York. It's the sports that we hate each other.
Right. Well, that's what I meant more. Yeah, it's the sports.
Yeah, stuff. Red Sox, Yankees. Yeah, we go.
It's a competition. It's going to turn into a competition.
Make sure the litter. Trust me, I am an amazing cat mom. That litter. No, I'm on top of it. Hey, Sam Smith and Kane, Danny, who is that good-looking guy you were with? So I'll be showing more pictures early next week for that episode. Tune in for where I was last night, but that is YouTuber Auntie Deb. So I did reply to your comment on that video, and he is tagged in the photo. So go on over to his channel, give it a sub, check it out. Oh my God, amazing, amazing, amazing content. I can't recommend it enough. But I also had him on maybe a month or so ago for an interview here. So check that out. But that's
no, I only drink cold. What do you call it? Cold. What's that guy's name? And you're across in that sports. Hamilton's. What was that guy's name?
What was that? An ice. What did when you guys came to visit? What
I might like.
An ice cold
Samuel Adams. I only drink ice cold Samuel
Adams.
Across
from an ice cold Samuel Adams. Yeah. Hey, Uncle Frank. Welcome. Uncle Frank needs a wrench Uncle Frank is amazing and does videos with Auntie Deb as well. So yeah, Kane is a big fan of Auntie Deb. So check out Uncle Frank's channel too. All right. I think I have everybody, but where to begin?
Dude, I'm looking at your case list here.
Yeah.
Nothing is more important than Diddy stuff.
Okay. Would you like to begin for the night?
No, it's fine.
All right. Yeah. Some of the ones we have for tonight are just like basic updates, but I know the star of the show tonight is you, Mr. Beckham, talking about P. Diddy. But
no, I'm not a star. I don't want to be the star. This P. Diddy case is really bad.
Oh gosh, it's horrific. It is horrific.
I try not to I mean, it's easy to get involved in the joking and the memes and stuff, but it's like when you start hearing more and more about it, it's really, really bad.
Yeah.
And it could literally link. It's gonna. I mean, it's. We'll get to it in a little bit, but yeah, it's just,
I don't want to talk about it right now, but let me talk about it right now.
Right.
All right. Let's jump into somebody else who we're all, I think, in agreement we're not a fan of, and that is Sarah Boone.
Oh no, Shelly, there's Diddy info. I'm sorry, there's new info.
Yeah, you know what, Shelly, if I have to suffer through Beckham messaging me like every 10 minutes being like, did you hear this? Did you hear this? Did you hear this? No. So then you have to suffer too. That's only fair. We got to stick together. Speaking of suffering, Sarah Boone. So she was appearing in court this Wednesday. Remember her ninth attorney. Ninth. And they're trying, what is so funny?
She's just the number of attorneys since I started doing this with you. I think she was at number like 4 or 5. Now she's up to 9.
No, you've been doing this before. It's just more we didn't talk about it for a while because there wasn't.
It's like I know it was like, hey, this week it's number 6. This week it's number 7. This week we're at number 9 now.
Yeah. It was like one of those snowballs that was just like slowly rolling down the hill, and then it picked up speed and it's just not stopping, and we all just can't stop watching this train wreck of a woman. So the trial is supposed to start next week, right? And the defense, her ninth attorney, are trying to get evidence in the case thrown out. One of the pieces of evidence that the defense is trying to get thrown out is a 2-hour recorded interrogation that the detectives had with Sarah on February 25th, 2020. During the interrogation, Sarah did not ask for an attorney at any point. Make that be clear. So everyone's on the same page. She did not ask for an attorney. She repeatedly said that her boyfriend's death was an accident that happened while the couple was playing a game of hide and seek. At one point in the recording, Sarah says, quote, "I excel at everything," end quote, as she tries to explain her position. The defense is trying to argue, when I say defense, meaning her and her ninth attorney, I just can't help but point that out. They're trying to argue that she suffers from battered spouse syndrome and that Sarah's Miranda rights warning was incorrectly read to her. So the entire recording, in the defense's eyes, should just be tossed out of evidence. In this last detail, this is where we're going to
still have the Miranda right thing I sent you? You still have it?
Oh, God, I'd have to go back and find it.
But you should just read it for everybody.
If you have it readily available, you can. But wait. The star of the news for Sarah Boone tonight. The defense is also requesting that Sarah be given access to professional hairstyling and makeup for the trial. Let's just let that sink in. Think of the gravity of the case that she's up for. This is the fight for her life. And the defense, one of their big focuses is that she be given access to professional hairstyling and makeup. Well,
she wants to look good, man. Give her that, I guess.
How is that the focus? Beckham.
I don't know. They make guys dressed up in suits. Maybe she wants to dress up. She wants to be Karen Reed.
Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God. Hey, time traveler. Yes, that as Uncle Frank says, yes, that's the suitcase, bitch. Can we purchase...
Nice picture, Uncle Frank.
Can we purchase Sarah Boone's signature luggage? No kidding. It will not help her case. Like, I just can't believe makeup and hair will not determine an outcome. Yes, we are a society that's very vain. Let's just call it like it is. But out of everything for this ninth attorney to come in and say, this is what we're going to focus on, that's it. I was on my lunch break when I was reading through, that was the breaking news. And I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But besides that, Beckham, what is your thoughts on this week's case with Sarah Boone? Anything with the hair, the makeup? They're trying to get that 2-hour interrogation out. Like, what are your thoughts on
They're
it?
just trying to, they're grabbing that stuff. They're trying to just, bring it. Well, first of all, they're grabbing that stuff to get, to get something in her favor. One, and two, they're trying to, they're trying to give her this moderation, or this point that about her, it's just a strategy about the spousal abuse thing. And they're trying, and then of course paint her to be this kind, gentle soul, with the professional makeup and everything. So they're just trying to paint a nice picture for everybody, and that's part of the strategy that they're doing. So
Yeah.
look, it worked for Karen Reed.
I love how, okay, this is like one of the few cases that I've got you into that you actually know a lot about this case now. So now every case you're going to compare to Karen, you're going to be like, yeah, Scott Peterson in comparison to Karen Reed. It's going to be like your go-to comparison. But it's just probably thinks the song is about her. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's probably both of those points. One, in her mind, that's what she feels, that's what she thinks, and then they're strategizing about it to go forward with it. So we'll see how it goes. I just want her to stick to the same. I want this to be the final boss, or the final attorney, and move forward. God.
Okay, you read my mind. I was literally just about to say, I'm surprised he lasted as long as he did.
Probably because he's listening to her. Oh,
I would bet a lot on that defense attorneys 1 through 8 listen to her as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's like, sure, everything you're suggesting is amazing. I think you have a chance here. Let's do it. Let's go down this road.
So basically, he's being a yes man.
Oh yeah, of course.
That doesn't mean he's listening to her. That's just
well, I mean, it's his own.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Let's see how he tries to keep her at bay.
He might have sparkled
when the trial's happening.
He might have sparkled a little bit of, his own strategy over whatever she's come up with. But I guarantee you, he's just like, sure, okay, yeah, oh, okay.
Yeah, look at Allison here. Either that, or he said, "Shut your mouth and let me talk."
No, she wouldn't have gone through 9 of them. No way.
I don't know. I want to watch.
Oh, I'm sorry, 8 of them. Yeah, 8. No.
I can't imagine, based on what we've seen from her thus far, and I'm not even talking about what we've heard in regards to like maybe hearsay or news media outlets where we can't confirm. I'm talking about what we have seen from her directly. I can't imagine when the trial is going on that when the prosecution is talking about her and trying to discredit her and her character and and everything to build their case. I can't picture her just sitting to the side, just calm, waiting. Like, no, I have a feeling she's going to try to like take over for her attorney. I really do.
Yep.
I really do. Let's see. Oh, you guys are talking sports. Okay, that's totally fine. That's the only way to keep Tony Stewart here. So it's all good. So that's all we got for Sarah Boone this week. Again, the trial is supposed to start next week. So, and I say that when it's one of those, you never know. You never know at this point.
What kind of hairstyle she'll go with.
Yeah, she has very short hair, so there's not much to work with.
Yeah.
What are they? Again,
let somebody come in and dazzle her up. in her own mind.
Dazzle. Is that how y'all Texans do?
Dazzled up.
Dazzle. So when Shelly comes and visit you, does she get all dazzled?
Dazzled up.
I regret this.
Dolled up.
And when I say this, I don't mean this episode. I regret when Beckham sent me a friend request 3 years ago and I hit accept. That's what I'm regretting at this point. Just kidding. Yeah, just kidding. Me too, Tony. The feeling's mutual. So let's move on to, because this one has been all over the news. We talked about it briefly last week, but we didn't have much to go on. And there was a little bit of theories as to why the shooting happened, but we're getting a little bit more, not a lot, but a little bit more. So Sean Mickey Steins. So for those who don't know, he was the police officer that shot the judge. And we'll go back and go over that a little bit more. But what happened this week is the video was released that showed the killing of Judge Kevin Mullins by Sean Mickey Steins. So the video does not have audio, but y'all can look it up. I saw it on Instagram, but it's also on YouTube. And the video was also played during the preliminary hearing in court this week. So the defense attorneys are not denying that Mickey shot Judge Mullins. But what they're saying is that Mickey was experiencing, quote, an extreme emotional disturbance, end quote, at the time of the shooting. The defense attorney said, quote, I think they've established probable cause for manslaughter first, but not murder, end quote. So Mickey has entered a not guilty plea for first-degree murder at his arraignment last week. So the video clip that I mentioned earlier, what it showed was the judge's chambers, and it showed Judge Mullins crouching behind his desk as Mickey shoots him multiple times. And this is the worst part for me personally. As Mickey prepares to walk out of the room, he appears to see Judge Mullins moving again under his desk. So Mickey fires several more shots. As the video was played in court, Mickey turned his head away from the screen and lowered his eyes. And I think that is very, very telling. Mickey and Judge Mullins had lunch together with a group of people at the restaurant just prior to the shooting. So the nearby restaurant. No one at the lunch that attended observed any signs of anger or whatnot in their conversation with each other. What we are also hearing is that Mickey, while in the judge's chamber, tried to call his daughter on his own phone, then asked to see Judge Mullins' phone, and the judge complied. Quote, when Mickey was taken into custody, he made the comment, they're trying to kidnap my wife and kid, end quote. If convicted of first-degree murder, Mickey could face the death penalty. So, Beckham, what's your thoughts with this now that we know a little bit more than we did last week?
Kind of odd, man. There's a lot of stuff happening in them backwoods of these Midwestern states. I don't know. I initially had heard that something was going on with his Mickey's daughter and the judge and that type of thing. I don't know. It just seems a little. His comment seems a little off. But again, a lot of stuff happens in these states. These where the stuff you never. So there's actually stuff that happens you don't ever hear about. But it just seems a little bit odd to me. And we'll just have to wait and see what comes out more because I don't want to speculate. But that's what I had heard initially.
Yeah,
it had something to do with him. With the judge and the subject's daughter, something happened there, and he took it upon himself to become the judge and executioner and everything else. So
judge, jury, execution.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's the video is all those videos. As much as I'm like into true crime and whatnot, and watching all this, it's just to see that moment where we know what the final outcome will be, but the judge still thinking he has a chance or whatnot, or he doesn't know yet that is his last moment. Like that, those are always hard to watch. But I know there was speculation back on, like you were saying, about the daughter being involved with the judge. I'm just wondering now that the little bit more that we know, so they were at lunch with other people. Sure. Everything appeared to be fine. What happened in which something happened in between? And the comment of they're trying to kidnap my
Who's
wife.
they? Yeah, who's
What
he
is
talking about?
that?
Right. It's odd. It's an odd statement, odd comment, odd statement. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm telling you, there's a lot of stuff that's happened in these backwood towns, um, that I know about, that I've heard about before, that you really don't ever hear about. And this is just one of those. I mean, like I said, it's odd. It's very odd for a person in law enforcement. No, it's not. I mean, things happen, but he just goes straight through and does what he did, and then makes a statement like that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, something was. I don't know. We'll probably hear about it. Something happened or was happening.
Mm-hmm. I have a theory. I'm putting it out there very early on.
Don't say affair, please.
No, 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 no. I have a theory. I could very well be wrong, and if so, I'll admit it. I wonder if that comment was made in regards to putting out there maybe some type of mental health defense. I wonder if he's putting that out there as maybe to cover for whatever was the real reason. Maybe so it wouldn't he I don't know.
I
I
thought
don't
about that,
know.
but I don't
Because
think.
it's just so odd.
Why did he throw the wife in the comment?
Right.
That's what mixes it up, because initially it was being reported about the judge and the daughter. He asked the daughter to see the phone. How is the wife now being thrown into this thing?
Yeah.
And who's
Yeah,
they? Who's they?
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that was, reading through like, again, the breaking news this week in that case. And it's like you're reading through and you're like,
What if
okay,
it's a sex operation ring that has to do with county clerk's office, the judge, and some other people involved in this, like I said, this backwood town. And I mean, I'm telling you, man, and the daughter got in somehow is involved. And
mhm.
he was worried. He scared, freaked him out, and he found out about it, and he didn't know what to do.
I can follow that theory. I can
I was trying to joke
100%.
around with the county clerk's. I was, but you know what I mean. I'm
No,
trying
I
to,
know what you
I'm trying
mean.
to like put a they to a group that could be associated with the judge.
Yeah, I followed everything as like as you were reading through, and it's like, okay, maybe that explains why this happened. Not that anything would justify the
Yeah.
actions that occurred, but you could begin to see if it turned out that, Mickey's daughter was having some type of inappropriate relations with the judge, that, a father, they're going to go ballistic and they're going to take action. Not saying that one means justifies the other and what happened, but you can follow along and be like, okay, maybe his emotions got the best of him. But then when it got to,
Mm-hmm.
okay, they were at lunch and everything was fine. So what happened in
I don't
between?
necessarily think it was a lunch that was necessarily fine. I think remember, he's a police officer. He's a sheriff, or
I
he's
think he
got
found out something after that
exact.
lunch.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's what my
he
point.
was there to analyze, or to get a feel of what's going on, and might have come up on something or found out something or something like that after the fact. Yeah.
After lunch.
Right.
Because I don't
Yeah,
think
or
there's
whatever.
any way
Right.
he found out
There
something
or
happened before and he
after or
sat
what?
there breaking
Oh,
bread.
you're thinking, okay, so you're thinking he okay, I mean, yeah, I mean, of course, he could have been there and everybody's friendly, and then after lunch he gets hit with the bombshell.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Got
what
me.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking
That's
happened.
fine, yeah.
But
But I
then the
just think
wife get
the
kidnapped.
comment with who's they, the wife is not included in the comment. There's a lot there with
Yeah.
those two um components within the subject line of the comment.
Right.
So who's they? They means a group,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And they were gonna kidnap my wife and
And kid.
daughter. That's a big statement,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the whole thing, with everything in the last couple years that um with sex trafficking's increase of like 1,000% increase in the last 5 years. It's skyrocketed. And everything that's going on now with the Diddy thing, it's just it's just coming out more into the open, more into the media, more to exposure. But yeah, I think he came up on something that involved his family, freaked him out. Dude, he went and killed the judge.
Mm-hmm. And there were other people in the building.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
not the target. They
Right.
were not harmed.
No, he just walked out. He did what, yeah. Did he cut by doing that? Did he cut the head of the snake off?
That's an interesting analogy.
Come
Well,
on, Danny. You're into all these weird, dark stories.
Oh, geez. No, I'm
Cases.
still. I'm. My theory is that he found out something after the lunch, killed the judge, attempted to kill the judge, and then successfully killed the judge.
There's one thing that's missing here.
Wait. And then made the wife and kid in kidnapping comment, maybe to show some type of saving himself and trying to put that he had a mental.
You have one thing going for you with that theory. One thing.
Okay.
There hasn't been a higher law enforcement agency called in to help. Which would shut my theory down. Because if my theory was right, then you would have a higher law enforcement agency coming in to help. Like if there was more to it than just whatever little thing they have there, and there was a lot, that they was bigger, right? Then you would the FBI is now coming in, or the state police is now coming in, right? That type of thing. So I mean,
but this did still just happen. So
we haven't heard anybody. We haven't heard of a higher law enforcement agency into the case yet. So your theory holds a little bit more because of that reason so far.
Okay.
I would say so.
Okay.
But if you were to read state police or so-and-so's office or somebody else is coming in, then you know that they means it's a bigger scale.
Yeah. Well, it
just wasn't over an argument over a lost bet or something or what.
No.
Hey, the lake water isn't as high this month as it was last month. Type of conversation, type of disagreement at lunch, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll definitely keep you guys posted on this as more comes out, because again, this is still so new. But I know we haven't got a
That's what I was trying to refer to, James.
I was about to say I'm a little bit behind in the chat.
Oh, that's kind of what I was meant by my last comment. Maybe it was an argument over who's going to pay for the parking.
Oh God, no kidding. Hey Tony L, good to see you. Let's see where you guys are. I don't want to miss any comments. You guys were still talking a little bit about Sarah Boone. Hey Sadie, lurking. Good to see you. Let's see. K-Dog, you're getting a star for that. Beckham thinks it's like Deliverance here in the back country. Yeah, Beckham has a certain way of viewing the world, K-Dog. And
I know of things have happened. Oh, no. There's a lot of stuff
we're not going to. No. That's a whole nother Beckham special. That's on the Patreon. I don't even have a Patreon, but that would be on the Patreon. K-Dog is saying MK Ultra.
No.
God. Yeah, we will keep you guys posted on this. But yeah, that quote, to me, that quote just took this in another direction.
It did. That's crazy. It's a crazy. You can dissect that sucker in an hour, and you might not ever get out. It's a rabbit hole of a comment or statement. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. So let's go on to the next one, and this is just, literally a paragraph of information because there's really not much more to update. But we all know what happened in regards to the Alec Baldwin trial. And when I say trial, the trial that started and then abruptly stopped in the way that it did, which still blows my mind. But along that same kind of pathway, Hannah Gutierrez Reed. So what has been determined is that she will remain behind bars. So what happened this week? Judge Summer ruled that Hannah's conviction will still hold, even though the judge previously determined that the prosecution suppressed evidence in the involuntary manslaughter case against Alec Baldwin. Her team, of course, will plan to appeal this, but keep in mind, her prison sentence is only 18 months. So it looks like she's going to have to serve, as of now, those 18 months. When this came back up, not that I forgot about it, but I just kind of put it out of my mind because, Alec Baldwin's kind of came to the forefront, but I still am I can't believe she only got sentenced to 18 months. Blows my mind that there really won't be justice in this case. But any thoughts on this one, Beckham? She's staying behind bars for now.
For 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it was deliberate. It was an accident.
Right. But that was her job. The armor.
She won't be working there anymore.
Oh God, no, she'll never get a job as that ever, ever, ever again. But my heart breaks.
So 18 months with good time served or whatever is basically what, 8
9,
months?
10 months.
Yeah. Or
maybe a little more. I mean, I don't know. My heart breaks for the husband.
What was it? I mean, I understand it was a complete failure on the entire system, right? It was an accident. It wasn't a deliberate thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Nobody woke up that morning and say, "Hey, we're gonna commit murder here." But you could sue the hell out of the studio. I don't know. I mean, it's sad. Yes, trust me, it is. But but it wasn't anything. How much do you think she would have served? Do you think she would have served? Like I said, it wasn't deliberate.
But this is her job. Okay. I argue you actually when you say it wasn't intentional. It was an accident. Not doing your job is intentional. And there are consequences that happen. And in this case, it was deadly consequences.
Yeah. But what are you going to do? Give her 5 years?
I would have went for life.
No.
I know that she would not have got that. I think 18 months is a slap on the wrist. Because like you said, with good behavior, she's going to be out way sooner than that.
Yeah, but it didn't turn federal. It was just a local, right? It wasn't anything. Because federal, you have to serve that time.
It's not a federal case. She will.
That's what the thing with Diddy.
Yeah.
He has to serve a high percentage of whatever time he's given. A minimum.
I had to think for a
second. There's a minimum,
yeah.
And then there's a percentage after the minimum you have to serve. So, if it wasn't anything like that, it's just whatever good behavior would knock some of those months off. It's just a tragic thing, man. Everybody's,
Yeah.
Everybody's.
I agree. No, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, but you're not gonna. She's not a murderer.
I think we're going to agree to disagree on that one, but at the end of the day, the judge is saying her 18-month will still hold. What I find.
Okay, I have something. I have a scenario for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Real quick. Okay, say you your tire's low. Your one of your tires needs air, but you're just you're tired from the night before. You don't want to go run to the gas station or run by this convenience store to put air in it. You'll figure it out the next day or something, right? You want to get home. So next morning you wake up to go to work, and you remember as you're unlocking the door, you see the tires low, and you're like, damn it, I'll just do it later. I'll do it after work. This time I'll leave work early. I'll get it done, whatever, right? Because in the back of your mind, you got to get to work, whatever. On the way, you get on the freeway on the way to work, that right tire blows out, causes you to hit somebody's back end, right? Because your car goes out of control, and that car gets pushed completely off the road on the embankment and just crashes and explodes, and you kill 3 people. And it was an accident. You wrecked, but you're okay. Whatever. Should you go to prison for life?
For life, no. No, but
Think
apples and
about it.
oranges.
No, I don't. I mean,
No,
I don't
as
know.
I agree with
She
Allison here. She was
might.
the
She.
armorer. Check one. This
Yeah,
was her job.
but they might have been. I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to make an excuse. I'm just like,
Do
she's
you know
not
the
a
situation?
murderer.
Okay.
She's
Oh
not a
my God. I
murderer.
didn't mean that to sound as condescending as it did. Rewind, Danny. Rewind, Danny. Do you know a lot of the details about what led to those events? Like the complaints from a lot of the people who worked on the set that the weapon, like the way the weapons were handled, mishandled. There was
Yeah,
a
it was a complete.
lot
It was
going
a
on that
complete
shouldn't have. So
system that
this
was.
was not one little.
Yeah, it was a complete system breakdown, right? Yeah, the system, meaning whatever was put in place, there was a lot
So
of.
that's intentional.
Uh, well,
Let's agree to disagree.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not. My point is, she's not a murderer. She didn't wake up that morning and say, "I want this person to die," or "I'm going to have this person
Agreed.
killed." Okay, I
Agreed.
understand her negligence and error, that kind of thing. Just like my scenario with the car causing an accident. Remember, you killed 3 people on the freeway.
In your scenario.
On my scenario, just saying.
I heard.
Now, if you're gonna say more, 18 months, that's a year and year and almost
Year and a
2 years.
half.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go to 3 years, I'm okay with that, but like not more than 5 under life. No, it wasn't anything deliberate.
Agree to disagree. We're not breaking down like the actual trial, so
Yeah.
there's no need to like get into the nitty gritty because right now, ultimately, this is what she had her time in court, and this is the outcome. I don't agree with it. That's my opinion. I have that right to that opinion. You have your right to your opinion, 100%.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying. I'm not gonna. If you want to, okay, I'll just whatever. She, but I don't know about life.
I'm the mean one.
Golly,
Beckham, you know me well enough now to please somebody like jaywalks across the street and I'm like, life without the chance of parole. Let's see. There was a PJ came in.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, PJ. Welcome. I know I'm a little bit behind on the chat, but did anybody else catch the Danny Eye Roll Classic?
Yeah, Allison, I was thinking the same thing. Allison, yes, that's what I was saying.
Let me know.
She wasn't on trial for murder. It was involuntary manslaughter. Right. That's what I'm saying. 18 months is max in New Mexico. Exactly. Because it wasn't murder. You're right. She wasn't on trial for murder. She didn't wake up that morning, say, I'm going to kill this person. And that's a state thing. That's the max for that.
Yeah, I know.
More of an accident.
I'm sorry.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Thank you, Allison, for the details on that. That's
Allison,
exactly what I was thinking. Was right there what she wrote.
She wasn't on trial for murder. It was involuntary manslaughter, 18-month max in New Mexico. Okay. I heard, acknowledged. Baldwin had no business with a gun in his hands. There are videos of him mishandling them severely. K-Dog agreed. So it sounds like K-Dog's also questioning if that car with the tire and the 3 people is a personal story.
No, I could see Danny doing something like that.
So yeah, that's it on Hannah. We'll see what happens. I think what I'm wondering is if her defense is going to argue releasing her until her appeal is heard, because we've seen in other cases where defense attorneys have done that, saying, well, by the time you guys get to the appeal, they would have been out by now. So let them out, figure out, does that 18-month stand or not? And then if it does, have her go back in. We've seen that before. I'm kind of curious why they didn't push that in this case personally, but I hope they don't.
She was negligent, but I guess everybody wants her to the chair, man.
No, I agree with that.
Jesus.
Okay. Her sentence should have been house arrest at Michael. James, Oh, James, we need to find you, girl.
Everybody wants to give her the chair.
Well, all right. Well, that's it on her for now. We'll keep you posted.
Banana.
So the last case that I have before Beckham takes over the remaining show, because Lord knows there's a lot to talk about. Beckham has a lot to talk about tonight. But before we get to that, Brian Walsh. So Brian Walsh back in the news this week. So for those who don't know who he is, we have talked about him for months now. He is the Cohasset man accused of killing, dismembering, and scattering the remains of his wife, Anna Walsh. He was in court this week. And if that doesn't ring a bell, the iPad search guy, that's what I'm calling him, the iPad search guy. Google it, look it up. Way back months ago when it got released, I went through and read everything that was on that iPad. His 6-year-old son's iPad, the search history. Oh, how to dismember a body. Like, come on. Really? Really? And then you don't delete the history, for Christ's sakes. So Brian Walsh. So his specific charges are murder, misleading a police investigation, obstruction of justice, and improper conveyance of a human body. He's being held without bail. We learned last month that the prosecution is preparing for the trial, but they do not plan to call Massachusetts State Trooper Michael Proctor as a witness.
Why, Danny? Why?
I mean, I don't know. He's such a respectful guy. I don't know. No. If you got, for anybody who's listening and watching that, you're like, all right, Karen Reed trial, we know who this is. And if you're tuning in and maybe you're not from here or you don't know who Michael Proctor is, Google when he was on the stand or go to YouTube, look him up. When he was on the stand for the Karen Reed trial, that is why he is not working this case anymore, or any case, dare I say. But nonetheless, I mean, the defense is doing their job. They are doing their job. And what we learned this week in court, again, is the defense team is asking the prosecution to share all documents related to Trooper Proctor's work on the Brian Walsh case. But they're also asking for his work on the Karen Reed case and the investigation into the death of Sandra Birchmore. The defense is also requesting documents pertaining to Trooper Proctor's job performance. I think it's a stretch, but I agree. The defense said Trooper Proctor's text messages about Karen Reed reveal, quote, bias, end quote, and that he might have similarly have been biased against Brian Walsh. I think that's totally fair. Brian's lawyers said they have not found any evidence of police or prosecutor misconduct so far in this case. However, they want all the documents to check for themselves. The Norfolk County District Attorney's Office said that they would share everything that was relevant to Brian Walsh's case, but not the others. And that makes sense as well. In a hearing this week that was held on Wednesday, you can look it up on YouTube. I watched the whole thing. It's about 4.5 minutes. Both sides agreed to return to court on December 2nd. This will give the defense time to go through the documents that the prosecution will provide to them. If you watched this hearing on Wednesday, then you would have recognized a similar face. The judge, Judge Bev from the Karen Reed trial. So expect her. And I do have to say, Brian Walsh, just on an aesthetic opinion, he looked a certain way when he was arrested and brought in to be held behind bars. Because again, he's being held without bail. Him in court being led in there this week, it's like night and day. Like looks wise, he's lost a lot of weight. He's very, dressed in a suit and tie, very clean shaven. Those we expect, but he has lost a lot of weight behind bars, which is very interesting. But he had this very, y'all watch it for yourself. And I was talking to people last night actually at the Turtle Boy Canton fundraiser trivia night about this case, because how could you not? We're all from here, so we all know about it, and Trooper Proctor worked it. And we all kind of had, the people that I kind of chatted with a little bit about this, all kind of had the same opinion that Brian Walsh just looked kind of smug as he walked into the court, not someone who's fighting for his life, even if he had nothing to do with it. That's the mother of his kids. She's nowhere to be found. He's behind jail, so no one's with your kids. Like, I don't know. The lack of emotion just kind of bothers me. But again, since this is connected to the Karen Reed case, which Mr. Beckham is now an expert on, what do you think about this with the Brian Walsh case?
Yeah, it's a little bit different though. So this is a little bit different on top of this guy, man. He really, what he did supposedly to his wife is a completely different thing than what Karen Reed, the Karen Reed
He's
case.
being accused of.
Right. So, I don't know, man. I don't even know if the Proctor thing is even it's going to be a thing here. Now, of course, his integrity is out the door, so they're probably going to have to do a workaround, Proctor. But I honestly think he won't. He won't. He'll be found guilty and all that kind of thing, prosecuted anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a completely different type of case. So
I 100% agree with you on that. What kind of scares me being from here is, okay, yes, it was handled by Trooper Proctor, and if he handled this case correctly, then it begs the question, why did he handle the Karen Reed one
well,
incorrectly?
there
That's a whole
you have
nother
to find now
jungle.
you're jumping
But
right.
it's fair. It's fair because that's a fair question. But then it also scares me that because of what unraveled during the Karen Reed trial, that people like Brian Walsh, where again, technically innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, where the evidence is so overwhelming, he could get off because of the bullshit that happened with the Karen Reed trial. That's what's scary. For me personally, I don't know.
I think they'll just find a workaround.
If that's the case, I hope you're right. If that's the case, I do hope you're right. But
Yeah, they'll figure that out, and they'll get this guy because I don't. This is a completely different thing. So this guy deserves everything that that you want to happen to the other girl.
oh, to Sarah
Yeah,
Boone.
yeah.
Oh, or to Hannah Gutierrez, or both
No,
of them.
yeah, Hannah
Both of
Banana.
them.
I'm gonna start calling her Hannah Banana.
Oh God. Let's see where you guys are in the chat. Let's see. The Delphi murder trial start the 14th. Yes, K-Dog, yes. All right, James Watson. Somebody should have taught the 6-year-old to erase his history. Okay, honestly, James Watson, I've said this before. I'm very curious how the defense is going to approach the iPad search, because I remember his attorney made a comment to the media when this first kind of broke and that information came out, and the defense attorney said the iPad search history is problematic. And yeah, you think? But I really wonder how they're going to play it. There's only a few options. Are they going to say, yes, he did it, but that's not what he meant. You're putting it in the wrong perspective. Are they going to say, he didn't make those searches, that wasn't him? Or are they going to blame the kids? Or what? Somebody came into the house during all those times and borrowed the iPad and was on it and did, like, there's only so many ways they can explain it, really. But I would love to be in court in a dream world, to be in court the day the defense tries to explain that. I really want to see how they're going to handle that, because those searches are damning. And that's only one piece. Even if you threw all of those out, there's still so much circumstantial evidence against him. There's probably evidence that I guarantee there's more evidence that we just don't even know until we see the trial. But those searches, damning evidence. SJC is hearing Karen Reed's motion on November 6th. Thank you, Allison. I'm going to give that a star. The search history. Oh, God. James, do you remember the search history? Do y'all remember that search history? It was wild. I remember months ago when it first broke, I went through the list and read all.
Give us like 3 things from the list.
3 things. There was like 16 or 17.
I know, but just for an example.
Oh, Reed?
Mm-hmm.
I can look at, yeah.
From the search, yeah. Just like 3.
Oh, no, wrong thing. Yeah, while I'm pulling that up, text, or no, internet searches. You know, the Liz is away this weekend, so she's not able to be here. When I say Liz has done so much background research on this case, it's insane. She would know this like at the top of her, like top of her head.
I'm just interested. I'm just intrigued by the searches.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm pulling it up now. All right. Here we go. I don't mind actually reading like more than. All right, so let's see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'll just read them. Okay, they start on January 1st at 4:55 a.m.
Wow, that's
and
early. Jesus.
what I'm going to read goes through same day, January 1st, 1:21 p.m. So again, 4:55 a.m. to 1:21 p.m. Here we go, folks. How to stop a body from decomposing, how to bound a body, how long before a body starts to smell, 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to, how long for someone to be missing to inherit, can you
Wow, really?
Mhm.
Holy crap. Oh, it's almost like he's okay. I'm not trying to laugh, but it's almost like it's the way you're reading it. It's like it's planning step for step for step. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like, and in
Mhm.
between there, the mental thought process happened to dabble into, hey, I could get insurance money from this.
I think that is very smart of you to point that out because I think the prosecution is going to see it that way too.
He's just saying like his thought process.
You can, yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
Oh, that's funny. Sorry.
But there's more, folks. There's more. Can you throw away body parts? What does formaldehyde do? How long does DNA last? Can identification be made on partial remains? Dismemberment in best ways to dispose of a body. How to clean blood from wooden floor. Luminol to detect blood. What happens when you put body parts in ammonia? Is it better to throw crime scene clothes away or wash them? You asked for it, Beckham. What
But
are you thinking now?
it's a timeline of his thought process. It ends with it literally ends with how to like once I'm done, what do I do with what I'm wearing?
Clean up.
It literally is it's documented the entire thought process or maybe that's what he was doing.
Which, okay, so the kids at the time, they had
That's
three
I mean I'm
sons,
not
a
trying to
2 year
laugh,
old,
but
a
you know.
4 year old, and a 6 year old. And not to say that, like, when you have small kids, you can't be on your phone, because I mean, we all, it happens. That's life. But like, your kids are awake at those hours. Maybe not the 4:55 a.m., but they're awake by 1:21 a.m. So you're hanging out with your kids, hopefully, and this is what you're searching because they're the mother's dead and the downstairs. And the kids don't like. It's just. And again, in this day and age, stay stupid, people. Really, just stay stupid. Make it easier for the cops, even if it's someone like Michael Trooper Proctor, who's no longer around. But did you really think that in this day and age, police can find your searches, they can find all of that, but they weren't going to find yours? You are the exception, Brian Walsh. They were not going to find your searches. Get rid of the damn iPad. Again, I'm not trying to tell people what to do to get away with it, but like, what?
Not so fast, Danny.
iCloud.
Even
I
if you
know
got
everything's in the iCloud.
I was gonna say, well, it depends if you sign up for it and you're paying the subscription to that, but maybe if he wasn't, then
Maybe
yeah.
his iCloud was full. Too many pictures of the kids. But
But
still, it would have at least, if he got rid of the iPad, it would have at least showed a rationale of some type of effort to cover up. Not to say he wouldn't have that investigators wouldn't have found it, but at least it would have showed he was really trying to cover up. He's on camera at Home Depot, like buying all these $450 in
Dead
cleaning
Wax,
supplies.
what's up, man?
Hey, Dead Wax, good to see you. I'm on a rant, don't mind me. But again, You're on camera, $450 of cleaning supplies. Y'all look up that photo of him. It's on the internet. It's very clear who he is, and he has a little black mask on, his covering his mouth because, you know, pandemic, whatnot. You can clearly see it's him, and he's paying in cash. Again, cameras everywhere. Did you not like?
He could have just paid a worker that's waiting in the outside for work money to cash to go get the stuff for him to come out.
That would have made, again, not telling people what to do to get away with it. That would have, again, showed some type of effort. It just seems like that he thought he was the smartest guy in the room and he wouldn't get caught. When you think of all these steps he did, it's like, yeah, there's security cameras. There's like, what were you thinking?
Well, I'm with you on that.
3 little boys without a mother and now without a father. Even if God forbid he doesn't get sentenced, those kids are going, I mean, there'll always be that question to them. Did their father kill their mother?
No, I think the evidence is too staggering against them. The prosecution would just have to figure out a way around the Proctor issue, and then move forward. But I think there's too much damning evidence against him, damaging evidence.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I mean, we've seen it where, you know, kids don't want to, or parents of people who are on trial for murder, that even with the amount of evidence that the prosecution in the state has, they don't think their loved one could do it. What are the kids going to think?
All you got to do is go dig up in your backyard. If you have a backyard, just go dig up a 3-foot hole, burn whatever you're burning. Don't let the fire, of course, get over the hole, and then just bury the hole. It's all ash.
It's well, we know ultimately he drove dumpster to dumpster to dispose of everything, but that was after he did that Google search. You better believe. James makes a good point. OJ's kids seemed okay with him after. How, I don't know, and I agree with that. They might fully believe our father's innocent. Yeah, they might not, even with the amount of evidence, they might not want to believe it. Not that
you block it out. I think it's blocked out or something.
How hard could that be?
Some kind of psychological mechanism happens, and they
come to terms.
Yeah, that, or they block it out and move on with it. Yeah,
because at least in their mind, they have one parent.
That's a whole other show type of thing. Yeah,
but that's an excellent point, James. So that is where we
never wear
gloves that fit. God, Dead Wax. No, I'm going to give you a star for that, Dead Wax. So that's the update on Brian Walsh. Again, if you guys want to watch it, it's like a legit 4.5 minutes from the time he's being led into court. The defense and the state, briefly kind of give their position, and it's very casual, relaxed. No one was raising. It was just very low key. And then Judge Bev is there. They make a new date, and then Brian is led away in his handcuffs. So that's kind of it. But there is a video if you guys want to see it. All right, Beckham, I have finished my notes for the night, and I know you have yours, and this is
going to be interactive here.
There's a lot.
Danny.
I'm ready.
What, you talking about the P. Diddy thing?
Yep, it's all you, boo.
God. Wait, hold on. So much has happened since, 2 weeks ago? Was it 2 weeks?
We talked about it. We've talked about it for 2 weeks, but we talked about it on
did we
Friday,
meet
last
Friday?
Friday.
We did? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So since last week, a lot of stuff has come to light. A lot's happened in this, it's the United States government versus P. Diddy, Sean Diddy Combs, whatever you want to call it. So it's it's pretty much and I actually caught a interview from about, I think last week, from Damian Williams, the actual U.S. attorney that's leading this case against P. Diddy from the the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, and there was something that of course he was going over everything that they had up until that point, and he was he did have a presser. I didn't know he had a presser, but yeah, he did. And there was one thing, he was, he talked really slow. He talked very, very, wise, slow, educational. And he there's one thing that he did that caught me, that he did say. He knows the magnitude of this case. He knows that his office, it's not going to be an easy case. That his but that his office is has a history of working these types of cases, and that they're going to do their best and all that, that kind of thing. Remember last week I talked about that this office is, I mean, they're confident that because of the history that this, of the types of criminals and successful uh, cases they've had against high authoritative criminals, whatever you're going to call them, right? High profile criminals, and the success rate that they have against those cases. He talked about that, but he kept it, like I said, very low key, very subtle, and that he knows that this is going to be a very difficult case, but that his office is ready for the challenge. It's going to be, he said, it's a challenge. It's going to be challenging, and his office is ready for that challenge, and that you know, and they're ready for it. And with that said, to me, is that they're going to piece everything together, man, and it's gonna everybody wants it to happen fast, right? Because we're in this time period, this generation where we want the news fast, we want everything fast. But with to his point, this type of magnitude of a case, it's going to take time, and it's going to take time to gather the evidence, to analyze the evidence, to put together a strategy, all that type of thing, right? Now, with that said, as soon as I said that on last week's show, he had the presser. Now, since then, like this happened this past Monday or something like that, that this information started coming out, that investigators have taken in more than 90 cell phones, laptops, cloud storage accounts, as well as at least 30 storage devices. That the U.S. government has, or his office has issued more than 300 grand jury subpoenas to obtain this evidence from communications providers, tech and social media companies, financial institutions, and P. Diddy's companies. Now, with that number of subpoenas, Danny, 300 subpoenas, that's a lot of money. I told you and Paul earlier this week that it's going to run about anywhere from $70 to $90,000 in just subpoenas.
Is that per subpoena or?
No. Total.
Okay.
That's a lot of money for subpoenas, man. And of course, somebody has to approve that. It's a budget thing and all that stuff, right? And for the U.S. government, we're at the end of the end of the year, but ended in September. A new budget's supposed to come out in October. That type of thing. Everybody gets a new budget, so we'll see how they kind of work that in, because that's 80,000 up to what, $85,000 worth of subpoena money that they're going to need to get that evidence, which will take time because you got to get it approved. The judge has to sign off of it. You got to send it and get that information back, right? So that alone would take a lot of time. Since that came out, Diddy hired. Diddy's being housed in the jail with a Sam Bankman. He's that kid that swindled like billions from people in the crypto and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So he's kind of been with him there. So he actually hired his lawyer. So he's he shares a cell with that Sam Bankman kid, and he actually has hired his lawyer, Sam Bankman Fried is his name. So with that said, Diddy is now wanting to take his bid to be released from jail to a higher court. So his legal team actually on Monday afternoon submitted a notice of appeal to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals in the U.S. District Court of the Southern District of New York. So the bad boy record, or P. Diddy, he's appealing. He's going above and wanting to overturn, of course, him and his team are now wanting to overturn the Judge Andrew Carter's whatever denial, his bail, right? And in which included a $50 million bond. He's done that twice. It's been denied. So now he's going, he hired that lawyer, and now his legal team is trying to go to a higher court to see about being able to post bond. And we'll see we'll see what happens with that. That was on Monday. Now, since Monday, I believe, I don't know if you saw it, right? A lawyer out of Houston, Texas, is now kind of joining in on this thing where his office has 120 individuals who have stepped forward accusing Diddy of sexual abuse. I think it's like 60 males and 60 females, and that's not including the children. Okay,
well,
so there's
they
a lot.
got like over 3,000 calls, and
Right.
they're
Yeah.
taking on
Yes.
120.
His office. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because they started getting, somebody came to his office and he set up the phone. He set up that line and said, "Hey, anybody, has this happened to anybody, or you have any information or anything that we could have, please call us." Right. But
Are we
since
going to talk
then,
about that phone line?
the what?
Can we just briefly?
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a toll-free number that that has been set up by the feds. So if you or a victim of Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, whatever, Sean Combs, list goes on and on, to call that number. This is big. There was no number that was put in for Jeffrey
That's
Epstein.
right, yeah.
There was no number put in for Harvey
That's
Weinstein,
right.
But there's one put in for this. I think this goes to show the magnitude of what the feds are expecting versus what information they have right now. This is big. But yeah, I just wanted to correct that.
Thank you.
They didn't just get 120 calls. They got over 3,000.
Well, I meant sorry, that 120 people that have stepped forward
that the law firm is taking on.
Right.
They're taking those 120 clients on out of those 3,000 phone calls that they started to vet. But okay, sorry, go ahead.
And no, just that that's not aside from the children. Supposedly, other at least 25 of different other cases that are under the age of 18. The youngest being a 9-year-old. Now remember, I'm reading this. I'm doing this information as of like Monday, Tuesday. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot out there. I saw an interview with that lawyer out of Houston. I don't have his name. Yeah. So he's also talked about taking it slow, but they do want to put out information. They have information. They have evidence of celebrities. And he wants it to come out sooner than later, so they can kind of get a grasp on it and move forward. I think, of course, his office wants to move more faster than the U.S. government. I'm not sure the strategy there, but he wants to name other people involved and other celebrities involved, right?
Yeah.
And his plan is going to be in the next couple of weeks. He would like to have done it within a week's time, maybe even this coming week. We might hear something else, right? Of a celebrity or others being involved in this stuff. But the max time that he doesn't want to wait more than 30, like you said, 30 days. So this lawyer out of Houston definitely wants to move quickly and swiftly for whatever strategy it is. Hold on a second. What's his name?
That's right. While you're looking that up, oh gosh,
yeah.
I looked my mind and I just forgot it because I got distracted by Paul.
Oh yeah, Tony Busby. Tony Busby. Okay. Yeah. Yep. You're right. There's been like more than 3,800 people from across the United States, right? And he's taken on roughly, it could be now up to like 150 cases or a little bit more than that, right?
I thought it was like, last I heard, 123 or 126.
Right, but that's not including the children. I'm also including children into that. So the number we don't know yet. It's in between 120, 150, whatever, right? So yeah, but he wants to move quickly. And like I said, he could be putting out a list, or he could put out a list by next week I don't think it'll be more than 2 weeks. That's what he really stressed. And no, for sure, no more than 30 days. So that's coming. Um, and just yesterday, I believe, Thursday or yesterday, Tupac Shakur's family has hired a powerhouse attorney to investigate Diddy and possibly being involved in the murder of Tupac. They
Yes.
hired, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they hired Alex Shapiro, um, with potential, for potential links between, Sean P. Diddy Combs and Tupac's murder. Of course, we know the whole West Coast, East Coast, West Coast hip hop feud that caused that everybody thinks caused the murder of Tupac. Um, but man, Shapiro is actually, he's one of the leading attorneys in Hollywood. He's been there with, he's been an attorney for. What's odd is that he's actually been the attorney. This is what's odd to me, is that he's represented like Jay-Z, Elon Musk, but Jay-Z really stuck out to me because Jay-Z is has been rumored to be linked to this Diddy stuff, right? So that would be kind of weird there. I don't know, kind of made me think about that a couple minutes.
Mhm.
Now Shapiro his recent high profile case that ended in victory was the whole Alec Baldwin case with New Mexico that we
Mm.
just talked about. So he's also he was involved in that. He was celebrating the victory in that case, and he's also currently representing I don't know if you heard about the New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who's facing
Have
corruption
I
and bribery.
heard? Who hasn't
I know,
heard?
yeah. So he's actually also representing him. This guy's plate might be a little full too. But I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm pretty sure he has a hell of a team under him to help with all these different cases. So yes, he's been hired to look or to possibly investigate also a murder charge against P. Diddy Holmes. So
Combs?
I'm sorry, Diddy.
Are you thinking John Holmes from Wonderland, the Wonderland murders?
Oh man, I got so many murders in my head right now. But no, but yeah. So now, God, there's just so much going on. So I saw some stuff on Diddy, um, and into his history a little bit. So, um, his dad was a drug dealer that was murdered when he was 2 years old. Okay, so he was raised by his mom and his grandmother. He attended the Catholic school Mount Saint Michael Academy in the Bronx, right? And he was an altar boy, all that kind of thing in the late 70s into the 80s. Um, Now, while he was there as an altar boy, that school was actually, there was a lot of stuff going on in that school in the 80s. So much that the FBI was looking into the school. Okay.
Hmm.
You can only think about what
Yeah.
was happening there, right? Now, the principal of the school and the chaplain named, I don't have his first name, but his last name was Lynch, Reverend Lynch, were the ones that the FBI was actually watching. Now, Diddy ends up leaving the school in 1987, but then both of those guys were charged in 1988 for the whole sexual abuse stuff. Okay, um, the principal was sentenced, or it went to court, but the Reverend was not sentenced. Now, the only person, one of the main people that were involved in the case at the time, just couldn't handle it, and ended up not testifying in the court case. So the case kind of dissolved.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so it's people are like kind of saying, well, maybe maybe he was that kind of thing happened to him when he was in that Catholic school. And it's just kind of been one of those things about, and that's a whole other subject for another matter, for another time, about somebody suffering through that, and then they in turn turn into the
Hmm.
predator. So you hear about that in psychology and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So yeah, so it was interesting looking into his background into that, because it kind of seems that kind of more likely happened to him and in essence has turned him into what he's being charged with, all these all this stuff now, and it's just a big, huge case. And watching the and lastly, um, and last no, and lastly, what was I gonna say? Oh, lastly, I know I didn't want to say any names, but
I'm
when
here.
the Damien, the U.S. attorney, Damien Williams was having his presser. It was talked. It was asked if J-Lo had anything to be associated with the case. I honestly think that J-Lo could be implemented here, not necessarily criminally, but to come
Implicated?
forward, huh?
Implicated.
Implicated. I'm sorry, implicated, but not necessarily criminally, but like to maybe she has information, maybe she knows something of past situational things that occurred. Because remember when that gun charge happened? Remember that? In
Yes.
1999 or whatever, and then something happened at the club with the gun, and
Yeah, it was after an
yeah,
award show.
yeah, or something. Yeah, man, I've been hearing some crazy stuff about that alone. But yeah, I mean, but you're gonna start seeing a lot of these famous people probably being, given the, told, hey, you need, giving a subpoena to come in and give a testimony down the road. But yeah, I mean, there's just a lot that's happened, man, and that's what I have so far, which is a lot.
Yeah, I was about to
Especially
say, don't sell
with
yourself short on
which,
that.
well, especially with the whole Shapiro thing and adding the whole looking into the murder of Tupac. Now, hold on a second. I was kind of God, what was I going to look into real quick?
That's been a rumor for a while that Puff Daddy was
Right,
involved
because
in
I was
that.
going to say the guy that was originally because there was a break in the case in September of 2023 when the Compton Crip gang member Dwayne Keith Davis was arrested and charged with the murder of Tupac, right? Now his trial is gonna start in March of here in a few months in 2025, and he has claimed that P Diddy offered him a $1 million for the hit on Tupac. So this happened. This whole him claiming that P Diddy was the one that offered him the hit, the $1 million for the hit, was prior to this whole thing happening, and maybe that's why now that Tupac's family has seen what's going on with P Diddy and everything, now they want it to go forward with this whole looking into and investigating from Shapiro's law firm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's, I mean, geez, I don't know. Of course, that wasn't part of the deal from the U.S. Attorney's office, the Southern District of New York's office. But that would be, I don't know, that would be interesting to see how that would work, because if they, they've already charged him with some, with all these other, right, the sex trafficking, the racketeering, all that. But I don't know how that other issue would happen with the possible murder of to make it a real deal, to put the murder of Tupac on him officially.
Yeah.
A lot, yeah, man, it's a lot going. It's crazy, Kate.
It's smart of the feds from everything you just updated. There's a lot of things in motion here, and I think what the feds are trying to, I mean, from again outside looking in, if they can get him for this, get him for that, get him for that, get him for that. So if there's an appeal on one, at least he's in jail for the other things, and so on and so forth, just to keep him from ever seeing the light of day in essentially harming another person. I just want to add, there's been a lot of, I mean, this is on every news channel. I mean, especially if you're into true crime, like every Instagram page, Facebook page, news source that y'all see for true crime, it's covering this. It's talking about this. Why wouldn't it? there seems to be a consensus kind of going off what you were saying, Beckham, where in regards to now victims, and I think there'll still be way more coming forward than there has, but they're now being comfortable that since he's behind bars, because what we've been hearing, if you guys have been hearing from victims' attorneys who have been coming forward and going on podcasts or putting out statements to the media, about their client, even if they're not naming their specific client, that a lot of them were too scared to come forward because
or embarrassed.
They didn't know they were assaulted.
Yep.
There's a lot of these assaults were videoed. If they
I have
were
one more
aware of
thing to
it,
say. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
there, like you said, the embarrassment, the threats, I will destroy your career, I will take this away, I will harm you, harm your family. Like, I mean, there was a lot of things at play why people weren't able to come forward. And some of the victims, through their attorneys, have said that their lives, these women and men, their lives were threatened to the point where if you come forward,
Well, yeah,
you know what's going to happen. So it would make sense why so many people would keep their mouth shut, because for fear of their career or their own lives, their families' lives. But now that what's happened has happened, and to see so many people, victims coming forward, finally being able to be like, I feel safe enough to now make, like, this happened to me. And there's been this spans over decades.
like 25 years. So from like what, 2000? Yeah, 25 years. From about, no, well, maybe a little.
It was in the 90s too.
Yeah, some 25
Probably
years.
mid to late 90s, I think.
Yep.
But this was, again, one of Hollywood's not so secret secrets. And there's more than puffed out. Okay, sorry, I have another side tangent to go in, but you go ahead. You continue.
Well, I had one more thing to add to what I was
Please.
going to say. And this just broke today. And last week I had talked about there's videos out there. People are bidding for them, right? People, I know, well, I don't know them personally, but I know of a couple of people that have said that they have them in their possession. They're holding on to them in case down the road. They will release it when the time is appropriate. But so today, the lawyer for one of Diddy's accusers has confirmed that a major bidding war is underway between top networks over tapes allegedly showing Diddy involved in sexual acts with a male celebrity who was a minor at the time. The lawyer revealed the video is set to be made public soon, and it's sending this A-lister celebrity into a panic, who is now, of course, older, as he was unaware the encounter was being filmed. Now, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to speculate. The only name I've thrown out there, only because she was involved with him in '99, is J-Lo. And there's been stuff about that coming out. But this now there's so much stuff going around, right? It's not even a point now of trying to guess who this is, because you can just jump on social media, you can jump on any popular website, Yahoo or whatever, and there's articles and everything about potential people that are now adults, right? But yeah, it's gonna come out. I mean, eventually the government will start putting the stuff out. Hey, they'll send subpoenas. They'll say, hey, you need to talk, right? That kind of thing. Or a lot of these things will start to show up on the news, breaking this, breaking that. The lawyer in Houston has been adamant. He was adamant this week that he will release names as early as next week or this week coming, or by the end of or by a 2-week time period. He wants to move quickly, right? Probably more so than the U.S. government, because I mean, maybe it's a financial thing on this end, of course for him and his office and the accuser and the people that he'll be backing there. But and then the other thing is you have these other people that have these tapes or these memory discs, right, with the videos and stuff on them. So you have You have a lot of stuff out there, man, that's really going to have people spinning. And I'm not talking, and when I say people, I'm talking about celebrities, politicians, A-list people, actors, and all. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a whirl of a crazy whirl of a thing that's gonna happen the next few months.
Oh my
But
God.
it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad, and a lot of these people, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what to think anymore. I don't know. There's so much rumors and stuff out there that it's just have a little patience. It's gonna hit the wave. It's gonna come out, and it looks like you have the right people working these things. You this guy out of
Mm.
Houston. He seems very sincere. I've seen a couple of interviews, with the cases that he has taken. Um, like I said, I think he just wants to move quickly because of what the U.S. government thing, and then really watching Damian Williams' presser really kind of solidified it for me that they are, he was very subtle, he was very professional, talked really slow, and that his office is going to take it. Of course, it's going to be challenging, of course, because you're going to have all when you have all these these high profile people, they're going to get lawyers and they're going to get right. So it's going to be a challenge. It ain't going to that type of thing. So and it's going to take time because you're going to have the evidence, just like anything, and you're going to have to build a case, right? It's
Yeah.
just not going to be handed to you in a platter. Although depending on the videos that they come out and all that kind of stuff, it'll kind of be that way. But you still have to build that case. You still have to
Mhm.
solidify that case to get the correct, to get the verdict that you want or the judgment you want in the end. And that's going to take time. But man, yeah, I really like what I heard from the U.S. Attorney's, office of the Southern District of New York, U.S. Attorney Damian Williams, because he sounded like somebody that's really gonna adamant about doing it the right way, and that's what you want, right? You don't want
Yeah.
it to just get out there and it just becomes a shit show, a circus, and all that. You don't want that, especially with this magnitude of a case.
Yeah, you don't want anything that the defense could one day go back and get
Yep.
an appeal on, like get a success. Sorry, like their decision overturned if he is found guilty and they file an appeal. You don't want a higher court to say, yeah, this wasn't done properly way back when. Like this needs
Yeah,
to be
right.
by a
Yeah, and I
book.
think we've actually talked about a couple cases, not on this level, but where they went, they've gone back and said the same. Oh, you could have, you missed something here or there.
Man, I just want to add to when you said kind of a rundown of who could be held liable if for their involvement if they were in fact involved. This goes just past like celebrities and like Cheryl said, politicians, but also medical professionals, because what we've learned is that a lot of these freak offs, the victims or participants had to be in a hotel or motel for like a week to get IVs and nutrients back in because so much was taken out of them and for their
Yeah, the
bruises to
hotels
heal.
too.
So
Hotels would
then
be
there's
accountable.
medical
You're right.
professionals coming in and assisting
Or the
these
hotels
victims.
themselves. You're
Yep.
right. The hotels themselves could also be charged. Not what I mean. Not charged, but held accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were hosting these.
Right.
I mean, there's so many tiers here that tiers is in levels. I wonder. So I guess I have a few questions, Beckham, just to get what your thoughts are in regards to the people that are going to be essentially co-defendants with him. Do you think that there'll be a lot of them will be offered plea deals to
Okay,
testify against
that's a good
him?
question, and this is what I was going to tell you. Okay, the reason why that lawyer wants to move fast before the government goes, because remember, he's being charged with racketeering. He's being charged with the stuff, and the what do you call it? The transit sex trafficking, right? Minimum 12. It's a government case. It's a federal government case. Minimum 12 years, maximum life. So if he is found guilty of all those charges down the road, right? If he has a case and he gets found guilty, the U.S. government will take all his assets, all of it, everything gone. All the money's gone. the businesses are gone, everything is gone. So to your question, I believe that's why this lawyer wants to move fast so that his people, his clients could get paid in the
Mm.
meantime, while they're, while the government is working, is getting everything ready, working the case, right? Because there'll be funds available to whatever, to settle or this or that. I believe that's why he wants to, Busby wants to move quick, wants to move quickly on this. Yeah, because to your point, eventually, if he's found guilty, the government will take it all. And I've heard that from a former U.S. attorney on an interview where it says they will take everything, businesses, houses, cash, all of it. They won't have anything. He won't have any. He will have zero to his name.
Do you think he was smart enough though to kind of put
I
any
don't
of
know.
his assets into maybe
I'm not sure.
his kids' names to protect it so that if this day ever came or something?
That I don't know, but no, I think the government can still take it.
We saw OJ do that, try to do it. We saw him do that. But another
Yeah,
question.
but remember, the OJ was a local case.
But
This is the U.S. government. That's a whole different thing there. This is the
correct.
U.S. government versus Sean P. Diddy Combs. So it's a whole different thing. It's a completely different
I
thing.
get what you're saying. I'm just giving the example of a celebrity basically seeing the ship going down and putting their assets, like trying to save their assets so that if this ever happened,
You'd have
ultimately
to
that money
really
would
hide it
still be
really
there.
well. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That's
That's
kind of
something
what I
that's,
meant. But
and I
no, I get what
but
you're saying.
yeah, but Busby's trying to move quick here for reasons, right? For those different, where it could go sideways here and there, right? He wants to get money for his clients.
Yeah.
He knows the government's going to handle Diddy. He's not worried about that. He's not, Busby is not worried about what's going to happen to Diddy. He's wanting to be there for his clients to settle and this and that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I do. Which you kind of answered part of my next question actually is, do you think that Diddy would settle on? I don't think he's going to settle on
Oh, I don't. I
anything.
mean, I don't
Because
know.
you settle on one victim, that just opens the floodgates.
Now, this other kid, Sam Bankman-Fried, he got. I mean, he owes like billions of. I don't know how much he owes. He owes a lot, and the government he has no money, but with good, like, I think he only has to serve so many times. So he ended up all right as far as time went. I guess maybe from Diddy and him talking, becoming friendly behind there, he felt he should go ahead and hire his lawyer, that type of thing. Maybe it makes him feel more comfortable, more confident back there. Remember, they're going above the higher court. They're going to the higher court because he wants to get bailed. Because of course, if he were to be let on bail, he would have access to do what you're talking about. Make sure everything's covered. Make sure, he would be able to make sure he's better protected, right?
Yeah.
Because he's out. So
Cheryl, don't pay any attention to James. He's a pain in the ass. You're
now,
fine.
real quick, because I kind of went over that quickly. Lastly, yeah. So this was on Monday. He said, I'm going to reread it. He is a notice of appeal to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, of course, in that Southern District. So we'll see how that goes, because he's already been denied twice by Judge Andrew Carter.
Yeah, no one's going to be that judge that
Sorry,
lets him out on
Judge
bail.
Andrew O. Carter Jr.
Okay. No, thank you for clarifying that. No judge is going to be the judge to let him out. He'll hop on a plane and it'll be Roman Polanski all over again. He'll never come back.
Yeah, and then he'll protect himself, and then he'll just, if he didn't protect assets, he would make sure that he did that.
Yeah, we would never see him in the U.S. ever again.
Signatures, right? It takes signatures, and he can't sign anything where he's at.
One of the things I heard on a few news sources this week is that for Puffy in jail, and I know we're coming up a little bit on 2 hours, so we're going to wrap up soon, y'all. But one of the things that I've heard is he is not wanting to eat his food in jail because he feels that someone might be trying to poison him. Have you heard that too, Beckham?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I don't know.
One podcaster made a good point that when I was listening to hers is that he, because part of the accusations against him, one of the many, is that he would drug so many of the victims and they would essentially wake up and have no idea what happened, but feel, pain and, in certain areas of their body that they had no idea what happened. And then come to find out, so on and so forth. That maybe because of what he did, he's kind of thinking, if I could get away with that with these victims, what's to say someone in prison couldn't do that to me? I don't
It's
know.
over, man. This thing is over. It's done. He's done. Even if he were to pay out all this money, he's done. It's only right. You know who's been given the microphone in this whole thing lately? Like spotlight, Suge Knight.
Oh my God!
Dude, this guy's been given
Knight.
He's been given the whole limelight in the last week or so, big time. He's been on like I don't know how many podcasts. He's doing a podcast from prison. I guess they can do podcasts.
Yes, he is
from prison, type of thing. That dude is a straight up gangster, dude. That dude, I mean, he deserves to be where he's at, right? For everything he's done. And the stuff that he says, whatever, you can just take it with a whatever. What's that?
Take it with a grain of salt.
There you go.
It's
yeah.
Suge Knight.
Yeah, it's Suge Knight, right? So, but yeah, I mean, he's like supposedly put out advice in case for some reason Diddy hears it. Basically, to watch yourself while you're in there, because anything, you know what I mean. It's kind of.
I mean, he's not wrong. Just a few people. I just want to make sure that Kane, who is always shy. I don't give a fuck about Diddy. K-Dog, Kane, don't hold back. Tell us your true feelings or your real feelings. Cheryl saying make him eat White Castle. Cruel and unusual punishment. PJ says he's done. No, K-Dog, there are some cases. I'm with you. That just, how can you not just like explode and just, you just can't hold back. And this is one of those cases.
I'm wondering how Johnny Cochran would look at this case. And would he even take it?
I feel like any big high celebrity named case he would take on.
There has to be a moral eventually. There has to be
for the right price.
Look, with the whole OJ thing, you had drug dealing, you had possible mob connections, you had this, that. Yeah, I could see that. But when you're talking about like rape of minors and stuff, I mean, come on, man. I don't know. It would just be interesting to see if Cochran would have been part of supposedly P. Diddy's
the
dream team, because when it was kind of suggested that he's putting together his own dream team when he took on this kid, Sam Bankman-Fried's lawyer, that he's calling, he's gathering his dream team.
Mm-hmm. On the one hand, to kind of go off of that, because you make a good point, to take on a case like this, one, everybody's entitled to legally the best defense. If they can't afford one is provided for them, so on and so forth. And if you have the financial means to hire the best, so that when you are found guilty, you can't say you had incompetent attorneys.
That's true. You're right. Yeah, that is true.
But with that being said, with the stack of evidence against Puff Daddy, I'm sure there's going to be 10 times more that we don't even know that's going to come out at trial. If you have the dream team and they're able to lessen the sentence or even pull a miracle and get
kind of like this kid got Like his kid got the lesser, right? The
That's,
lesser of the max,
yeah,
right? Even though he's in
that would be
federal prison.
huge.
Right, right, right.
You would
I
be
got
the
you.
attorney that got him off
The
those
less, not
charges
necessarily off, but less, the
or
lesser of
less.
the
Yeah, or
time.
whatever it is.
Right, right. Yeah, that's a good point. You're right. It
So
got him the lesser of the time, the lesser of the fine, and all that kind of thing.
would you
Yeah,
be
that's
also extremely hated if you did that?
right. Yeah, I
Absolutely.
got
And
you.
think of
No,
like
that's a good
Casey
point.
Anthony's
Right,
attorney.
right.
Jose Baez, he got hell for representing her,
Yeah,
but
no,
he
you're
did
right.
his job.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll see, folks. But we're coming up on 2 hours, and I'm trying to be respectful because Beckham was very clear that there's a sports thing at 10 or 10 my time that he has to be for. So, all right, we're going to wind it. I'm very respectful of your time, Beckham. Oh God. Cheryl, are you new here? Because you just said the trigger word.
I don't have the voice for it tonight.
Wow. All right, folks. Well, thank you, Cheryl, for answering that. Yeah, if you're, oh God, Cheryl, then I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you, one of these weeks, stay tuned. You will get the Beckham experience of the Chad Daybell trial. I assure you. All right, everybody.
Daybell. There you go.
You got that, Cheryl? You got that? No, you're not in timeout. I can see you. You're good. All right, everybody. That is it for this week's True Crime and Chill. Lot that we discussed. Thank you, Beckham, for all of that research on P. Diddy. And I know that there will be probably just as much next week. So
Look for that Busby lineup. Like he's gonna put out in the lineup. No, the names. Yeah.
and the Sarah Boone trial starts next week. So we have that to check up on. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining again. Have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your weekend. I will see you guys either Monday or Tuesday night for a recap of the Turtle Boy Canton fundraiser trivia night that me and Auntie Deb went to, and we'll talk about that. Other than that, thank you again, Mr. Beckham. And remember, everybody, until next time, we don't live in darkness. Darkness lives in us. Bye, everyone.